Now we've got the first of today's panel discussions. No climate action, no peace. The catalyst for this conversation is the link between peace and sustainability. You can't have one without the other. To talk about this, we're welcoming representatives of the amazing Global Assembly community. So, over to our moderator, the truly brilliant visionary, Susan Nak-Young Lee.
Thank you, Jules. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us at Peace One Day today. My name is Susan Lee. I'm from South Korea, and I'm joining you today as a core team member of the 2021 Global Assembly. I am thrilled to be back here for Peace One Day moderating this panel. For those of you who don't know, the Global Assembly was the first citizens' assembly conducted at the global level on the climate and ecological crisis. That's a lot of syllables, but the idea is simple. I want you to imagine for a second a space you know of where decisions are made. It could be a parliament, maybe it's a United Nations conference, or a local council. Well, once you have this space, think about who is in that room. Is it politicians, experts, maybe scientists, or concerned citizens and activists who have joined a local meeting? In any case, these traditional spaces of decision-making have been populated by mechanisms that we are familiar with, things like elections, self-selection, or appointment. So simply put, citizens' assemblies provide an alternative mechanism than the ones we know of today to involve a wider group of citizens, even those who are not activists or may not have the time to be, in public sphere discussions. Rather than being elected or self-selected, participants in a citizens' assembly are randomly selected by lottery, which is stratified such that the final group of participants mirror the demographic proportions of a given population, forming a cross-sample, or a section rather, of that population. In June of 2021, 100 pins were dropped on a map of the world using an algorithm stratified by population density to select the places from which participants would come from. Community organizations near each of these locations recruited potential participants from various spaces in their community, and finally, 100 of those people were selected by stratified lottery to be assembly members in the first global citizens' assembly on Earth. These citizens from all walks of life convened online to discuss the question, how can humanity address the climate and ecological crisis in a fair and effective way? And after deliberations, these participants co-created their own declaration entitled the People's Declaration on the Sustainable Future of Planet Earth, which they presented at COP26, the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Glasgow. Today, I'm thrilled and honored to be welcoming two of our assembly members, Mary Nasser from Syria and Jia Liu from China, to share about their experiences in the Global Assembly, their declaration, and speak to some of the themes of today's event, No Climate Action, No Peace. Mary, Jia, Millie, who will be translating for Jia, welcome, and thank you for joining us. And just a quick note before we get started, that Mary may be dropping in and out due to internet connection, so we ask for your patience. All right, Mary, Jia, thank you so much for being here. I want to get us started by asking you first to briefly tell us about yourself and how you became a participant in the Global Assembly. Mary, if you can hear us, I'll ask you to start us off.
I'm Mary Nasr from Damascus, Syria. I'm a member of the Global Assembly and a researcher on the impact of unilateral coercive measures on human rights. I'm currently working in the education field for an NGO based in Syria. My story with the Global Assembly started when I was dropping by the Lyceum Training Services to register for an English course. My teacher, Mr. Muhammad Ani, who is my community host, asked me if I'm interested in climate change and ecological crisis. I said yes, then he told me more about the Global Assembly. I was fascinated by the idea of bringing people from all over the world to the global governance table and making their voices heard. This happened on the last day of registration for the Global Assembly. After 2 days, he told me that I got chosen by lottery. So I'm really happy to be with the Global Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. Let's hope your connection comes back so we can all see you. But Ja, I'll ask you the same question. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became a participant in the GA?
大家好，我叫刘佳，我来自中国，然后我的家位于中国的一个海滨城市。我是一名在读大学生，在大学我修的是传媒专业。我认为我的专业知识可以很好的帮助普及环境和气候保护的内容，比如说把它的一些条款写成策划，拍成一个简单图片或者宣传片。在网络如此发达的时代，我相信影片的传播是很快的。如果可以呢，我希望全球各地的人都可以通过这部片子了解到相关内容，并注重气候环境保护。我的朋友向我介绍了全国公民大会，我觉得这是一件很有意义的事，并且能够参与本次的决策过程，我感到很幸运。我填写了报名表，参与了抽签，并且被选中，成为了我们全球公民大会的一员，并且代表了我的国家和城市。
Hello everyone, my name is Jia Liu. I'm from China. My hometown is located in a seaside city. I'm a college student. My major is media. I think my major can be of some help to promote the concept of sustainability or climate action. For example, by creating documentaries on environmental protection or climate action. And I believe these days making videos is an effective way of promotion. And my friend introduced to me what is the Global Assembly, and I thought it was a wonderful event, and I want to join the decision-making process in responding to climate change. So I signed up to join the lottery. Luckily, I was chosen as an assembly member representing my hometown.
Thank you, Mary and Ja. It's always fascinating to hear how through this chance and circumstance encounters we have been able to cross paths with each other. And now I want to turn to a question that I think many audience members will be interested in. Now, you were somehow plucked from your lives to engage in this process, which you heard of for the very first time when you were recruited by community organizations or by friends. And you were asked to then enter into these sometimes very intimate and deep conversations with 98 other strangers from all walks of life. I want to ask, what was the most memorable conversation or experience you might have had with fellow assembly members in the Global Assembly? And Ja, I'll invite you to speak on this first.
Uh, 好的，我印象最深刻的经历呢，是从播放的视频当中，我看到了很多不同的职业的人对我们要讨论这个话题的看法，他们很直接地表达自己的见解，让我也从领导者、律师、工人等不同的视角，了解到了保护气候环境的迫切和人无法忽视的问题。应对气候变化呢，是个很大的挑战，我愿意我自身为出发点去带动身边的人改善现在的现象。
Which impressed me a lot is the learning materials from the Global Assembly prepared by the committee, especially witness videos. In those videos, people with different occupations share their opinions on the topic we were discussing in the meeting. So I was able to learn about the climate and environment situations from different perspectives, such as leaders, lawyers, and workers, and so on. Addressing climate change is a big challenge. I will take action starting from myself and people around me.
Thank you so much, John, Millie. And just before I ask this question to Mary, just want to remind audiences that we are live translating and there might be a slight delay, so thank you for your patience.